Welcome back to my fifth show, Comics Karma, where we talk to some of the best and funniest working comedians in the United States. We share their stories where you laugh, learn, and live about their lives and how it can help yours. Now, you probably know we took off a few weeks to get onto iTunes and build my audience. I also took my yearly tennis vacation with friends to see the best tennis players in the world at Indian Wells BNP Paribas tournament. Oh my God, it was amazing. To watch guys like Roger Federer, Novak Djokovic play against each other. We had amazing seats in the second row too. Second row. I actually screamed out to Novak, "Win, win!" One time Novak was going to serve, and it was very quiet. And me being the wise ass I am, it was extremely quiet. We're talking like 2,000 people there. And I'm in the second row, and I look at him, I scream out to him like Joe Pesci. And I go, "Hey, hey, hey, you freaking guy, get on ice! Come on, come on!" Yes, people were laughing, and the umpire actually went, "Shh, please." And I'm like, "You got a fucking problem with that? Hey!" So I also saw Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova playing, which was amazing. And they're both hot looking too. My God. See, the great thing about women's tennis, is that because when they hit the ball, it sounds like they're having an orgasm. Did you ever notice that? They hit, all of a sudden, my God, that just turns me on. And I told my last girlfriend that if we don't have sex, just play tennis with me. I'd be a happy person. The best part of is when if you look up people like Serena Williams, Maria Sharapova, Roger Federer, Novak, all those, the best part of these top players is that they knew what they wanted to do the rest of their lives when they were 10 years old. Some of them started at 7, 8 years old, and they made a career out of it, making millions off their talent. Now this just proves to everybody, of course including myself, is that whatever you want in life and are passionate about it, not just the money, don't do things just for the money. That is the biggest problem, biggest issues of people. But for the passion, then you go for it. And the money will come anyways. You follow your dreams. See, that's the whole thing. That you would be doing your passion for free. And if you're making a great living at it, or like these tennis players or movie stars, which we'll get into and talk about, and making millions and millions of dollars, that is just the best life you can have. Of course, you have to have good family and good health and all that, but that is just amazing. Which brings me to my guest on the show, Grace Fraga. I met her over 10 years ago at an acting class, and we became friends immediately. I still remember it like yesterday, talking to her. And we're talking about comedy, and I tried to book her into some rooms here and there, and now we're talking about our own projects. And literally I have not talked to her in about 3-4 years. And we're hanging out at my friend Danny McDermott's show on Sunday night. And Danny was the second podcast. You probably remember he had amazing stories. Danny calls me up and says, "Come in and enjoy my my videos. Who Killed the Bible Salesman?" I go, "Well, since Danny did my podcast," I said, "Sure, I'll be there." Not knowing who's going to be there. I didn't know Jeff Bridges was going to be there. I didn't know, Eddie was going to be working the bartender at the Improv in Melrose. And we're watching it, and all of a sudden I look over, and I go, "Oh, is that Grace?" I said, "Yeah, I think it is." So here we are, just literally. I haven't seen you in 10 years, and then 4 years, and now he's seen you like 3 times in 1 week.
Yeah, we're catching up.
We're catching up. So I want everyone to say hello and invite my wonderful guest, Grace Fraga. How are you, Grace?
I'm great. I love, by the way, that you say don't do it just for the money. Do it, for the passion. I personally like to do it for the passion and the money. I don't know. I call me greedy, but pay me. I like a little money here and there. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So just getting that out of the way.
Of course, you got to make money. You have to make money, but you can always make money doing something else while you pursue your passion. So your passion becomes money. That's kind of where I was going with that, But no, this is very interesting. I didn't know until just a few days ago that you're from Argentina.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that.
What? We've been friends, great best friends for 10 years, right?
I know.
We only saw each other 3 times. But,
I know.
But you don't know I'm from Argentina.
I didn't know you're from Argentina.
Okay, yes, I am from Argentina, from Buenos Aires. I was born there.
Uh-huh.
And I moved to the U.S. to go to college, and then I stayed. I went to New Orleans, and then I came here, and I'm here sitting with you after 10 years. What?
When did you leave? When did you leave Argentina?
I left Argentina.
Were you a kid? I mean, were you just...
Well, I don't want to carbon date me, myself. Let's say I went to college. Let's leave it at that.
Okay. You left to go to college, okay.
Yeah.
And you did that in New Orleans, you said?
Yes, I went to Loyola University.
How did you pick New Orleans out of all the colleges?
Well, there was a guy there. It's always a guy.
Oh, it's the guy thing. I've heard that story so many times.
So many times, right?
I'm telling you, at least 50 women in the past 15 years I've talked to that, why did they move to L.A.? A guy. Why did they go to college? A guy. Why did they do the business? A guy. It's always a guy. They chase the guy.
Totally. It's always about the chasing the dick. Can I say that?
Well, you
that
just
should
said
be my next book. Chasing the dick, bitch.
Chasing the Richard. She meant Richard. Yes.
I'm a little dirty. I can be just a little dirty. Okay.
Just a little dirty.
Just a little bit.
Now,
Okay.
now the funny thing is that you don't have a thick accent.
No.
Like my Cuban friends in Miami.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, I swear to God, they talk like Al Pacino from Scarface. I go, "How you doing, Juan? How you doing, John? Oh yeah. Oh, you got a problem with me? Come on." I said, "No, I don't have a problem." You say, "Hey, here's a beautiful girl. Say hello to my little friend." That's so great. Thank you.
That sounds scary. What kind of people do you hang out with?
I know. And it's like, let's go to South Beach, John. Come on, hang out. It's but I do know other Argentinians. I actually have a friend, Juan. Swear to God, in my gym, and he's from Argentina, and he has a very thick accent.
Really? Don't ask me if I know him.
Yeah.
There's 40 million of Argentinians.
Yeah, I know. Probably is.
Do you know Juan Martinez? Yeah, really, there's about 3,000 of
Yeah, I
them
know.
in the phone book. Yeah.
Juan.
Yeah, I know you're Juan, sure. Is he single?
No, he's not. He's married to 2 kids, actually.
Darn it. Okay.
I know.
My luck.
So you ended up going to New Orleans.
Yes.
Did you end up doing your comedy there? I mean...
Yes. I actually after college I opened an art gallery, and people would come in and they would be like, "You're so funny. You remind me of this or that." Mm-hmm. So why did you do stand up? And I always loved stand up comedy, always. But it's not easy to make that first step, and it's scary. So
Trust
I took
me, I know.
You know that. Everybody
scared the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, and you get scared for a long time until you just don't care anymore. But
Correct.
In a good way, don't care in a good way. So I took this class, and of course, the graduation night I did great because it was all like very supportive people. We all did great,
right.
And so I was like, "Yeah, I can do this, man! Look, I killed the first night." Of course, the little gigs in New Orleans were like little biker bars, and
Right.
You know, people were drunk and not
Yeah.
the same, And I was, would cry, would go home. I'm not funny. I don't want to do this anymore.
Right.
So I quit.
You thought it was you, but it was really the crowd, kind of.
It was. And I was also green, And if nowadays, if I go to one of those bars, I would be a whole different story.
Right.
Because I know how to handle a crowd a little better than when you first start. You know how it is when you
Right.
first start.
Of course.
You can barely remember what you have to say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's very hard. So, yeah, and I quit for a couple of years, and then I started acting, and then I started stand up again after I started acting. And a year and a half into acting, I won a Big Easy Entertainment Award for Best Actress in a comedy in a theater. So. I was
so this is like 15. You started doing stand up like 15,
about 15.
20 years.
No,
Yeah.
15
years. Yeah. I started about actually a little bit more than that, over 20 years ago.
Wow.
But I did more off than on. I didn't pursue it.
Really?
Yeah, I just was not into doing the road, and
yes.
the thing. I mean, I did it, and I just life kind of took me to different places and things, and really got more into acting, and now I'm really into the videos and things like that, and commercials and stuff like that. So a lot of the comedians I was hanging out with, as you know, a lot of them are just kind of boneheads, and they're just kind of negative guys, and they're not very funny, and it's like, what are we doing hanging out with these guys, So, but I did like doing it, and I love, doing it. Now I got back into it, doing it again and again, and then sort of LA, so that's great.
It's fun. Stand-up comedy is like the most fun I have standing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, you're right. I do love it. Once you get back into it again,
It's amazing.
It's great. Especially when you get a good audience and things like that.
Yeah.
I saw Dana Carvey last night, and it's amazing. After 30 years of him doing it, it's incredible. He did great.
Of course, he's amazing. He's so funny.
Yeah, he's very funny. With his kids and stuff like that, it's just pretty incredible. So you just decided, so then you ended up doing the Big Easy Entertainment. So
yes.
Does that mean you're easy? I mean,
yeah, I'd like to think so. To all the guys, the single guys out there listening.
Exactly. You can just email Grace, yeah.
Gracia. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why that's the Gracia, Grace.
Your Cuban friends taught you well.
There you go. Then you get the Mexicans here now. Hey, man, Grace. Gracia, Grace. Oh, let's do it, huh?
You're looking good.
You're looking good. Say hello to my burrito, huh?
I like your blonde hair.
I like your blonde hair. Yeah. Your clean eyes. Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, they do like my blonde hair, actually.
They do.
They don't care I have to dye it to get it this way, but my naturally dyed blonde hair.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Funny. Gosh. So you moved to LA in what year?
I moved here in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 11 years ago.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of when I met you, when you first moved here.
Yeah, when I was green.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was fresh off the boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I moved here in 98, so which feels like yesterday. It's just amazing.
Crazy, I know.
It's absolutely incredible.
Time goes faster here in LA, I think,
really
because
does.
the pace is just so crazy that you don't have time to think about what's going on. You just go, and things switch and shift, and it's just a crazy lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it's just, by the time we know it, we're going to be 90 years old and like the two old men in the Muppets, right? Yeah, right? Because we get into that
What
group.
the hell happened to my life? I'm bald and wrinkly. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
No,
John and I, for those who don't know, we get into that mode. We're like the two old men from the Muppets.
Yes,
and
remember that? Yes.
Yeah, you started, though. You're like, you have that spirit in you more life than I do. And then my inner Muppet comes out. It's just like, we start. complaining about everything.
We watch like horrible comedians on stage, you know,
Yeah.
at the Improv a couple of nights ago, and I just look at Grace and I go, "What the hell are these guys doing? He's just where's your punchline? Where is it?
They have
Damn
no
it.
jokes."
They got no jokes. Oh my god. Oh boy.
We almost got thrown out of the Improv
We did.
for texting and talking.
Or the guy comes over and he goes, excuse me, could you put your text away, please? No texting. I go, get out of here, sir. These comedians suck.
I know. And then we were trying to text
Yeah.
so that the screen would be against,
Right,
the guy who was watching us, like
Right.
a hawk. He was watching us. So we would text and pretend we were watching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love it when you
Imagine.
text me. You went hi,
Exactly.
and I'm like, I texted back. I'm like, are you aware I'm sitting right next to you? That's
I forgot. I've become
when
an
did
old,
you come in?
I know, I've become an old man all of a sudden, yeah. My mind turns into an old man.
Yeah. You have that spirit very alive in you, John, and it's really fun
I know, I
to
love
watch.
hanging out with you too. It was fun. Oh my God. So you're having fun making people laugh, and then one day
Mm-hmm.
you're dating this guy, and what happened? And,
Well, I actually wasn't per se dating this guy. It was like our third date. And yeah, he invited me over to his house. He was actually, just to let you know, he's known in the industry, and he was friends with my friends, so I thought he was trustworthy and
Okay,
nice and stuff. So I went to his house. He had a condo in Santa Monica, and I went, and he made me dinner. He was really nice. Opened a great bottle of wine and stuff, and he was great. He was very attentive. Blah blah blah. And all of a sudden, I started feeling weird, and we went to, because he was a music producer, and I had written some rap songs, funny rap songs. I was like, I wrote these songs, and he was like, I'll put music to them. Let's go to my studio. So we went to his studio, and that's when it got really, really weird. He kissed me, and I was okay. I wasn't crazy about him, but I was like,
Right.
all right. And then it got a little rough, and he pretty much, pinned me to the floor, and I had like bruises on my wrists, and
wow.
just he wanted to do things to me, and I was trying to make him do other things that are a little bit less painful. Let's put it that way. And I froze. It was basically date rape, because it was completely against my will, and I didn't want it. But he was like, tell me you want it, and that's when he pinned me against, and I was like, no, and I was trying to fight him, and then he was like, tell me you want it, and I said, oh, okay, I think I am in trouble. So I said, yes, I want it, and he wanted me to say his name, and I was like, yes, I want it, and I was like, oh, God.
Oh man.
But not. It was just, I don't even want to get into it, but thank God I distracted him from doing other, horrible things that I would have really, have even more post-traumatic stress syndrome. So the next, I escaped basically. He
was a music producer, right?
Yeah.
Pretty well known too.
Yeah.
We
No
won't get
names.
into- No, we won't get into that.
But I think he put something in my wine, and he was really mad. That was another sign. He was really mad that I wasn't drinking the wine, because I felt that the wine tastes.
Yeah.
I felt weird, like my soul was leaving my body. And they told me that could be absinthe, but I'm not sure. I don't know what he put in there. So I stopped drinking, and he was really mad that I wasn't drinking. So I think that started the anger in him. He wanted to get his way, but because I wasn't drinking, I wasn't, I guess,
Right.
drugged enough. I don't know what he put in there. So I don't know. The next thing I know, I'm laying down on a bed in his studio, and he leaves the room, and I'm frozen with fear. Literally frozen with fear. I was terrified. And so he leaves, and I always thought when he left, I'm like, oh, he's going to bring a gun and kill me or something, because he was
Right.
so violent and so vicious that I was like,
Was he
gonna...
drinking too, or no?
Oh, yeah, he was drinking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And so he left, and he fell asleep on the couch in the living room, which I didn't know. So I was frozen there and waiting to see if he would come back.
Oh, wow.
When he didn't come back, then I got out of the room and I went to see where he was, and he was laying on the couch in the living room. So I just left. I was like praying to God that the door would be unlocked, and it was unlocked. So I didn't make any noise, and I was super quiet. I run that hall like as fast as I could. I've never run so fast. So I go down the stairs real quick, and I go to my car. My car wouldn't start. I freak out, and then it started. And the funny thing is that, well, not funny, but the good thing was that he had told me, "Oh, why don't you park in my garage?" You know, and I was like, No, I'll park outside. Thank God, because I would not have been able to get out.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
This was before Uber, Uber, like, Lyft and stuff.
Right.
So I left, and when I got home,
So if you parked in another place, the gate would be there, and you wouldn't be able to get out.
Exactly, I wouldn't be able,
So you thank God you
it was a covered parking lot, yeah.
Oh, right.
So I got home, and thank God he didn't know where I lived, because I have a policy. I don't let guys pick me up.
Mm-hmm.
I meet until I know they're okay. I don't want them to know where I live. Thank God I had that policy back then, so he didn't know where I lived. So I get home, and I swear to God, when I got into my house, in my apartment, I smelled like flowers, because that was it was my safe place, and and there was no pretty smell or anything. Like, it smelled to me like flowers. I think it's like a post-traumatic stress syndrome thing. I don't know why it smelled like flowers. I remember that very clearly.
That's weird.
And that day, I just laid on a couch, and I was like, I couldn't move. Like, I was frozen. Serious. That's the first thing I can remember, is like being frozen.
Yeah.
So I called a guy friend who's married, and I told him the story, and he was like, okay, you're a victim here. It's not your fault. It wasn't anything you did.
Right.
He talked me out of, that, frozen victim, horrible state.
Of course, yeah.
So, but it's still,
helps to talk to somebody.
Yeah, thank God for him. He's amazing, and he was like, if you don't want to sleep in your apartment, just come over, and we'll have you here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So the next day, I was teaching swimming to little kids, and I was like so happy that I had to go and teach kids, because their innocence and their love and their just made me change my state a little bit. Not completely, because you do suffer from PTSD, but it just got me into a different mode, than get out of that frozen fear that I had for a whole
around the kids
day.
And things,
Yeah, kids are awesome.
Kids are great. And then, then you mentioned, I remember, that you met an older gentleman, and I actually talked to him at the comedy club when I saw you back about 4 years ago. He was a character actor. He did tons of TV shows and movies the past 50 years, and he's older than you, which I couldn't believe that you're dating him.
Yeah, he's I have a granddaddy fetish, apparently. Yeah, I'd rather not.
You're not talking to him.
Yeah. He was okay in the beginning, but then he changed a little bit. He had like two different personalities, or two different sides of him. Let's put it that way. And so I liked the nice, charming guy. I didn't like the other guy. So eventually, we split. But it was quite an experience dealing with him. But so yeah, I got to go to. There were good things. I got to go to like the Emmys and TV Line Awards and do the red carpet and.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, no, it was nice. He was okay. Okay. He was okay.
He's okay.
Yeah, he was okay.
Just okay.
Yeah. The highs were very high and the lows were, whoa, yikes. They were very low, yeah.
So, I mean, how long did you date him? And basically, kind of like, what did he do to you that you didn't like him and wanted to break up with him?
I was with him for about 3 years, and it was, I don't want to say it, but it was a little bit of emotional upheaval, let's put it that way. And he had a lot of anger issues, and he would take out his anger on me, not physically, of course. That other guy took care of that. But no, he was, because I would have left. Like, if a guy raises a hand at me, just like, I'm out of there, no matter what.
Of course.
I'm done.
Of course.
There's no coming back from that. So, but no, he was not like that at all. He was just, it was an emotional up and down. He had his own emotional up and down, and I'm pretty stable. Like, I'm happy most of the time. If there's something that happens, that triggers sadness, I'll be sad. If something makes me angry, I'll be angry.
Oh, yeah.
You saw me angry about that person that we talked about that we know.
Yes.
So, I mean, I have a very logical reason why, but this... He was not that logical. Let's put it that way. There weren't reasons. Like, he would, like, if I tell you, oh, John, you didn't bring me coffee, that means you don't love me anymore, and I start a drama about that, and it's like, what? And you're like, what?
Yeah.
You didn't even ask me. You didn't even tell me you wanted coffee. So it's that kind of insanity that's just unreasonable, unreasonable reactions that create drama. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good way to put it.
Good drama. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was. I'd never been with someone who would take you on a journey of ups and downs so quickly. It's like a switch, they switch from happy and nice to not so nice and unhappy, and the trigger for that switch is something that's not reasonable. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
I think so, yeah, it does, yeah.
So that drove me crazy, because it was like, I didn't understand. It's like, do you love me or do you hate me? I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of emotional abuse, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice.
Of course.
But it is, if you think about it, because you're going up and down. But I think it had to do with his own issues, his anger, and, his life and what he's been through.
Yeah, normally it is.
Yeah, it is.
Normally it is his issues. It's the inside issues of somebody.
Yeah, it wasn't like he wanted to hurt me. It was just that's who he was. So, but I had to get out because it was just impossible. You don't
want to spend the rest of your life with this. I mean,
it's horrible.
Especially 3 years. I mean, God.
Totally, and it triggers anger in you because you don't understand. First, sadness, because first I was like, does he love me or does he hate me?
Right.
Like, I was crying, like, you don't love me, you hate me, because anything would upset him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay. He would be like, well, I have this issue that. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to reveal things about him. But there was something that happened to him that when we were together, and he was angry about that. So he was like, well, I'm angry about this thing. And I was like,
take it out on you.
Right. But then after 3 years, it's like he's angry about everything, pretty much. So I think he's kind of like an angry guy,
Yeah.
So, and it triggered my responses because I would react. Then I went from sad to angry. Because I would be like, and defying him. I was like, okay, now what? Okay, that's you're gonna create some drama. What did I do wrong now? Tell me, come on, bring it on. Like I would like defy him.
Right.
Yeah, like okay, I know it's coming, so let's do it.
Right.
So I was like, this is so unhealthy. But it was hard to get out financially for me and emotionally too, because I was hoping that we could work it out.
Right.
And we couldn't work it out. I mean, I have no control over his behavior. There's nothing I can do.
Well, that's the best thing you did is just leave. I mean, I had my own personal issues with women and almost got married to a nice Jewish girl. Mm-hmm. And I really thought she was the one, I found out that she really was not that nice. Mm-hmm. I bought a nice, expensive condo for us. I took her out to the finest restaurants, all that. And, after being with her for almost 4 years, I wanted to get married. So I asked her to marry me. We went on a beautiful 3-day cruise and all this. And she didn't expect it at all. And I hid my engagement ring in the luggage. And then, and I just said, at this age, I said, this is about 8-9 years ago. And I said, I'm getting older now. She seems like a nice girl. And I decided to get married to her, and I wanted to. And then all of a sudden, I thought she was going to change kind of like what you talked. I thought she was going to change, and she didn't. And just one thing led to another. And I remember it was like May 2007. I woke up in the middle of the morning and said, "You know what? This is not going to work out. You have to leave." And basically, I paid for everything. She never offered to help at all, ever. She just wanted to get her own way and live the life that she wanted, with my income. And it was just very irritating. I mean, we had a beautiful, huge condo. I mean, the mortgage was huge. It was making good money at the time. But isn't that amazing? It's just how do you be with somebody who just does not care about helping you? Even though I told her 100 times, help me with this, help me with that, buy the food, pay the electric, pay the gas, whatever it is, and she wouldn't do it.
Yeah, she sounds a little bit sociopathic. Yeah, she's a user.
She's a user,
yeah.
Exactly. And she was a hoarder, too, which I don't even get into that. I mean,
yikes.
My God.
Gross.
Yeah, exactly. She'd shop and
buy stuff she didn't need.
Buy stuff she never didn't need and never used it. And like 6 months later, I look in the closet and tons of belts and shoes and pants and boxes.
Wow. With your money?
With my money.
Oh.
Yeah. My money and a little bit of hers.
That's annoying.
Exactly. It's like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me, man. And so this is just freaking insane.
And did she have a job?
Yeah, she had 2 jobs.
What? And what did she do with the money? Save it?
No, she didn't save it. She blew it.
She blew it.
Yeah, she blew it.
Wow.
Yeah, she blew it on stupid stuff. I mean, she didn't make much money. She'd always just had, horrible things going on,
Mm.
But, yeah, it's just freaking amazing, man.
Crazy.
How
do we get into these situations? It's like, I think because people in the beginning, like people like her or my ex, they're very charming in the beginning.
Right.
And they want something from you.
Right.
I think my ex wanted control. Yours wanted money and a lifestyle.
Right.
And we're like swept away because they're so charming and nice, and they're telling us what we need to hear because they know what we need to hear, the areas that we're lacking. And
exactly. Yeah.
I know. I think that's how they operate.
And everyone wants to be loved. Everyone wants to be with somebody. You don't want to be alone all the time.
Of course not, especially in the city. It's so lonely.
I was just gonna say that it's just amazing. I've heard that so many times. Dating is very hard. Matter of fact, when I moved here in 1998, I went to a meeting for actors, and one of the first things I heard, literally, this is like 2 or 3 months after I moved here, and a gentleman went up to me and says, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm doing fine." He goes, "How long have you been in L.A.?" "I just moved here." He goes, "Oh, really?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, welcome to L.A." I go, "Yeah." "Welcome to the loneliest, biggest city in the U.S."
Wow.
I said, "What? Really? Loneliest, largest city in the U.S.?"
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really believe it in that.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, talking 15, 16 years later, it's still true. I hear that from a lot of people I talk to.
Oh, yeah.
It's just incredible. You get the flakiness, and you get these people, and everyone wants something for them.
Oh, totally.
The bigger, the better, the richer.
Yep.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
The second you leave L.A., people get married, they have kids, they're happy just to go bowling, have a few drinks with their friends, go out dancing. I'm from Rochester, New York, and lived in Miami and Orlando. It was different. It was very different back then. I got friends that are still married 30 years later. It's amazing.
Yeah.
My age, it's like, man. Yeah, because
doesn't mean it's better. This is what you're choosing. You're choosing to pursue your dreams, and the price you have to pay is that you live in a city that's really lonely. But I'm kind of like I always try to be positive. I do my best. I try. So instead of like I was complaining all the time, I used to call my ex-boyfriend who lived in New Orleans, and I would cry, I'm so lonely, at the beginning. And then I was like, okay, what do I have to do to not be lonely? And, I surrounded myself with good friends. And it took me years to weed out the flaky friends and the real friends. And now I have real friends. Like you met one of them.
Right.
the other day.
Right.
And they're there for you. They got your back. And,
Right.
you can call them at 3 a.m. They're there if you need
Right.
help. So
Yeah, it's true.
it
so
takes
great.
it takes years, but you'll find those people. You'll attract those people
It's
if
true.
you set your mind to it. I think.
Yeah. I agree. No, and that's just a couple of the bad stories. I've got a lot of great stories too, of course.
Oh, yeah.
I met some pretty amazing people, and I still meet amazing people. Just like last night, we had a good time.
I know, wasn't it fun?
It's incredible. We're hanging out with Andrew Dice Clay, and,
I know.
and his kids, and I thought Andrew was going to go up to and say, "Oh, how are you? What's going on? Look at my kids. Oh."
Yeah.
And I'm looking at him like I was looking at him from like 30 years ago.
I know.
Right? Hickory dickory dock and all this those
Yeah,
jokes,
I know,
right?
I know.
Jack and Jill went up the hill. Hey, came back with 50 cents. Oh.
I hear
he's so
he's like super nice.
Yeah,
Andrew
I heard
Dice
that
Clay.
too.
Yeah,
I heard
he's
that
super
too.
nice. He's like a normal guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all an act.
And he's an excellent actor. Did you see Blue Jasmine?
I did.
Excellent
I did.
actor.
He was great.
I was so impressed.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know. He was amazing.
Yeah.
It was just so cool. It's like I'm hanging out next to him.
I know. That was really
cool.
cool.
He's like, oh my God, I've been watching
know.
him for 30 years, and he's like right next to me.
I know. Very cool.
And he shook my hand and said hi, and watching his kids, and I'm looking, and his kids look like him a little bit too. Got that Dice Clay look.
Yeah,
amazing.
that's the beauty about LA too. It's like you meet all these amazing people. When I was dating the character actor, I also met like amazing people. I would shake hands. I met Mel Brooks. I met Howard Storm, who was the director for Mark and Mindy, and then he directed Raymond a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
Shelley Berman, because he was an older guy, of course. This guy I dated.
Right.
Shelley Berman.
Wow, Shelley Berman.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's adorable.
Right.
And all these people that I could go on, and that are amazing. And I was having lunch, with them, or dinner with them, or that's the beauty of it. You can be with these amazing, creative, talented people, and have access to them.
Yeah, it is so cool. I met about 5-6 years ago. I met Bruce Springsteen.
How cool!
hanging out with freaking Bruce Springsteen.
Dang,
my God,
that is so hot. I love it.
It's just so great. It's like, Bruce, how you doing? I'm doing fine, John. How you doing? All right. I said, there's a funny thing about Bruce. Every time he sings, I always thought like he has to go to the bathroom really bad.
Oh no!
It's like how he sings. Excuse me, John, I gotta take a crap. Born in the USA. Oh yeah. Born in. Oh man, I gotta take a pee. Oh. It's like, oh my God.
Sounds like he's having sex and pooping at the same time.
Exactly.
Right?
Sex and pooping at the same time.
Yeah, it's kinky.
Yeah, I know. It's like Bruce became a multi-billionaire doing the singing like you have a bad kidney stone.
Right.
I was like, don't worry, John, people love me, right? But it is pretty amazing the people you meet.
Oh, definitely.
In L.A., it's just pretty cool. I met Jason Alexander, Kevin Pollak, at certain events and things like that. So it's pretty amazing. You look at them, it's like, man, what a career they had, and pretty amazing they are. And so then you, so you went through these bad situations, and the date rape and this and the stalkers and these horrible things. Then you went through these bad situations to do amazing things. So these kind of bad situations actually inspired you to write 2 books. Not only did you write 2 books, but you ended up being on the Steve Harvey show. That is like a huge, huge endeavor. And that's a huge thing for somebody to do. Of course, I would love to be on the show. I love Steve Harvey. As people know, or maybe you don't know, he's a very religious and motivating speaker.
Yeah.
That just makes you feel like you can do anything in life with the right attitude and the team behind you. I actually bought his book, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success.
Nice.
And Oprah, I used to watch, I still watch Super Soul Sunday on the Oprah Winfrey Network. And she interviewed him, and she brought that book and said, boy, this is just an amazing book, and you are an amazing person, and God bless you. And he cried.
Oh.
Seriously, he cried. Yeah, he cried.
Oh,
and,
I love Steve Harvey.
I know. And it's like I wanted to cry with him. I mean, a few tears came out of my eyes. I love Oprah. And
yes. Oprah and Steve Harvey. What a team. Incredible. Yeah.
What a team.
And let me tell you, Steve is so funny. Steve, like I know it. But
like, what's he like? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's great. We taped in Chicago at the NBC studios, and I'm telling you, he's hysterical. He has a warm-up comic, but the case that I was being a relationship coach for, because I wrote the 2 books about breakups, was this girl who wanted to get back with her ex. And the reason they had broken up was because she was sexting other guys. So Steve, during this like a commercial break, they'd like stop taping. And so Steve comes over, like instead of the stand-up comedian, he comes over to the audience and he goes, should they get back together? He was like, look, if it was me, I'd be like, run, okay?
yeah.
Like, run. But the way he was just like talking to us about what was going on there, we were like screaming. He's so funny. He just started just talking and saying stuff that was hysterical about that girl, don't go back to that girl. Like, you know what I would do. So he's just, he's not only a very spiritual person and very inspiring person, but he's also funny as hell.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah, he is funny.
Yeah, he was just improvising everything. We were screaming. It was so funny.
It's incredible. So what are some of the things that you guys talked about? And just about your book and a few other things?
Well, actually, what we did is they had me as a relationship coach, and so Steve would ask me, like, well, what do you think about this or that, about the people, should they get back together? And if they get back together, what should they do? Blah, blah, blah. So I gave my answers, and then the thing is, like, the producers will come, like they prep you, like, what would you say? And then they're like, then they kind of you tell you, well, maybe you can say go this route or that route. And so in the middle of the show, when they were like a commercial break or whatever, producer comes and says, okay, we changed how you answer that question. This is what you got to say. So you got to have like really good improv skills, because they switched they 2 seconds before they were taping.
Well, they tell you what to say, and they kind of...
You had everything. Really? They made you prepare something, and then they changed it because they go on the go. It's like whatever is developing from the situation between the girl and the guy and Steve talking, then they kind of guide you towards what you got to say.
Huh.
Yeah, so,
I didn't know that. A lot of people don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
See, it's not just you. It's up to the producers, and they kind of tell you what to say and how to do it.
Yes, they do. They prep you. I had my own dressing room with a little refrigerator.
Oh, man.
With my name.
Damn.
Yeah, it was hot. It was really hot. And the best thing was one of the producers, this was in Chicago, right? In LA, I'm fat, of course. But in Chicago, I go there, and the producer looks at me, and she's like, girl, you are tiny. I'm like, I'm moving to Chicago right now.
What month was that? Was it winter time? What month was that?
It was winter. Oh yeah, it was in February. It was for Valentine's Day. Yeah, it was the Valentine's Day show. So
was it 2013? You said?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, and then I did also spot for Fox News, and the chairs there were like stools that were really slippery, and they tape live. It's like the morning show, right? And so it's like you just have to be careful. Then like 3, 2, 1, and as I slide, because I couldn't, like, I was trying to get my position, like crossing my legs in that big, high, like slippery stool. I'm like, oh shit! And I grabbed it and got next to me, and I just grabbed. Ah!
Oh my god!
Yeah, so that's forever on tape, and that's how they started the segment. Oh shit!
Oh my god!
It was hysterical.
That's too funny.
too fun.
Tiny woman falling on the floor.
Tiny woman. No, this was in San Diego. I wasn't tiny.
San Diego.
No,
Okay.
Not tiny.
Just checking.
No, this is for this was Fox News,
Fox
in
News,
San Diego.
okay.
Yeah, no. The Steve Harvey
I know, you're
show.
right. San Diego, everyone's freaking thin as rails.
Right.
I know.
No, Steve Harvey, honey, they gave me a nice real chair. They had wardrobe. They had my size. Okay. No, it was great. I would do that show again in
So
no
what's
time.
the name of your books and what's it about?
Well, but I have 2 books, and they both have the same name, Love at First X. And the first one is the comedy version, where it's basically don't discard your exes, use them as resources. Like, the idea came from me having like different exes that help me out, and of course I help them out. But like one of them is a lawyer, an entertainment lawyer. And so he's always like giving me, advice for free. I don't pay for my entertainment lawyer.
Oh, right.
Another one, does other things. So I was like, I should write a book and make a parody of it, So basically I live in, have all these exes, and it's like Alice in Wonderland with my exes, and I get their houses and half their shit, kind of thing. So that was the premise of just ridiculous. It's silly, and of course a lot of funnies and caricatures and drawings that came from this sick brain of mine. And the other book is the self-help edition with, actually, after I broke up with that character actor, I had a rebound guy for 10 months, and then we broke up. And so I had 2 breakups in like a year. So to break up from relationships. So I was like, I got to write a book about breakups and whether you want to stay friends or not with your ex. And so that one helps people through a breakup. It's really, I've had people tell me that it helped them through their breakup and make them feel a little better, or at least laugh for a little bit.
It's funny. Since I broke up with my ex, we're talking, 7-8 years ago. I never talked to her again. Never.
Well, because
never.
she was a user. Same with the character actor.
She never called me, never emailed me.
I can't.
You figure she would never. I mean, you figure after so many years she would just pick up the phone, right?
No, because they
call me, but
they'd reached such a level of like horribleness,
exactly,
that you can't go back. Like
she knew I didn't know anything to do with her.
Like my ex is so toxic. That actor. When we talked, we kind of talked and healed a little bit, but still there's so much going on underground, that I think we're toxic for each other. So it's better not to. Some exes, and I put that in my book, some exes you really need to stay away from. But the ones that you just broke up and, maybe when you break up for a while, don't talk, but then you go back to them because there was love at one point, right? So you can't lose that. And some of my best friends are my exes. Seriously, they're amazing. I love them to death.
That's not really never happened to me before. And then she also stole my dog.
Oh, lovely! Wow, no wonder. I wouldn't talk to her.
That's why I never talked to her again. Yeah, she stole my dog.
No, not cute.
Yeah, not a good thing.
Not a nice person. Definitely.
Now here's some pretty cool stuff. Now now you got some development deals with production companies, right? I mean,
yes.
So it's. You want to talk a little bit about that? You're working on some kind of shows, or?
Sure. Well, my first actually development deal was 2013. I got a development deal with PBS. Okay. They rarely do that, but they have I didn't know this, but they have 4 shows they can approve, some of the PBS stations. And so we were lucky with my partner, and we got the green light for to develop a show that we created. And we shot the pilot, everything was taken care of. We were going to air it, but the guy that greenlit the pilot was out the week before we aired, so the new guy didn't want to air things that the other guy, which happens rarely. We're still shopping it, by the way. We're still trying to get it to develop that show because we have the pilot and we own the pilot, even though PBS paid for it.
Right.
So that
That's
was
great.
my first thing. So I got executive producer credit, created by credit by PBS, which was amazing. And I hosted
And
the
what
show.
was it? What was it?
It was the
Stand-up show, right?
No. It was a storytelling show.
Oh.
And it's on my IMDb, and I also hosted it because, of course, my partner was like, "I'm gonna host, okay?"
Right.
No. I cast me, but he's super cool, so he was like, "Yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't have anybody but you." So, so that was my first development deal ever. And now I was approached by a producer to develop a sitcom. We already have a fantastic showrunner. And we have pitched to a couple networks, and there's a big studio that's interested. Then I have 2 other development deals. One is with a production company. We're developing a comedy reality show. And the other one, it's another production company that they're interested in a show. One of my publicists actually developed it and has the connection. And they want to develop a show with me and a psychologist who I love. Dr. Sherry Meyer, she's great, and so
I know Sherry.
Sherry, she's awesome.
Of course.
And so Sherry and
It's the
I,
same girl we know.
yeah, so we would be the hosts, so the main people. And for the other show, the other development deal too, I would be like one of the 3 people that star on the show. So of course, from there, from the production company to the network, they might say, hey, we want somebody else, or they might say, hey, we love her, and then the people that you picked, but it still get creative rights to the shows, to 2 of the shows. The other one I don't think so, but Sherry and I will be the people, and then there might be a third person. They want a kind of like a male energy in there. So yeah, I have those 3 deals, which that's what I'm focusing on. It's a lot of work. There's a lot of, legal things and creative things. I mean, all wonderful.
A little luck. You have to have a little bit of luck that comes along with it,
That's right. Well, it's like, it's...
yeah, I know. It's...
this business, it's such a long process. Because even if you pitch, let's say, you have your own sitcom and you have your showrunner and you have a great production company backing you up. Great. All right. You go to the network, you pitch it. Fantastic. Oh, we love him. Let's do this. Okay, they shoot a pilot. Okay, they shoot let's say 15 pilots. Only 3 are going to make it.
Right, I know.
So you go through all of this.
I know.
And still, even if your pilot makes it, then you have to see if the first season is successful or not, and then if it stays on the air. So it's like such a long process. People have no idea.
About 15 years ago, I still remember this. This brought this into my mind. I went to a writing seminar about showrunners, and actors, and things like that. I still remember this. I just moved to L.A. literally a week before.
Wow.
A week before, I went to, I think it was USC, and I walked in with a bunch of these people. Remember, I just moved from Miami. It's like, my God, And they had all these people. They had all these producers and showrunners talk. And I think a few of them were from Carsey Werner.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Remember that? Okay.
Yes, of course.
And another person walked in, and I'm looking at him, and it's like, oh my God, he was the creator of Everyone Loves Raymond.
Phil Rosenthal.
Phil Rosenthal.
Oh my gosh.
Phil Rosenthal.
Yes.
And they said, again, this is 15, 16 years ago. They said to create a show and to have it bought and to make it after a few episodes and after a year, excuse me, is like winning the lottery.
Totally. I agree.
That's exactly what they said.
The odds are like
winning the lottery. The odds are phenomenal.
Yep.
But if you do win it, you win the lottery.
But unless you play, you can't win.
Exactly. That's my whole point.
That's right.
Which is what I'm going to get to, at the end of our show, that it's amazing. You went from this little girl in Argentina with no accent to having horrible experiences in relationships like rape and verbal abuse. And then now this. See, that's what I'm talking about. You never quit. And according to many others, especially me, that you ended up a winner. So, what is some good lifelong advice to our listeners out there that you can give?
Well, if you're following your dreams, what I would say is stay put, be consistent, don't give up. And I know it's cliche, but it's really the truth, because think about it. It's an odds game, especially in our industry. The longer you survive and stay on it and in the game, the more people that are going to drop out. So the more people drop out, because people drop out all the time. They get married, or 2-3 years into it, they leave the town. They're like, I can't do this.
All the time.
Because it's tough, man.
All the
it's
time.
not easy.
I've had so many friends move back to Miami and Cleveland.
They're like, forget this. I want a normal life.
Screw this. I want a regular life. Yeah.
So I think if you stay put, if you surround yourself with like-minded people who have faith in your talent, that have your back for real, then eventually you will get what you want, because you persisted and you stayed focused and you wanted it, obviously, more than the other people that dropped out.
Right.
So just stay in the game. Don't quit.
I agree. You just never know till you try and do. It might take 10, 15, 20 years. It does not matter as long as you do it and then make it, and you will. That's the whole thing. That's the whole idea behind this podcast, is you laugh, which you made us laugh a lot.
So did
You're
you?
So sweet and nice. I try. and learn about some of the things that you went through. Pretty incredible things. I mean, gosh, you could have died, you know?
Yeah, literally, I thought I was going to die.
Mm-hmm. You really could have.
I really did.
And then through that, we learn. And laugh, live, and learn. And that's what we did. So I just want to say thanks again to my good friend, Grace Fraga. You can see her videos and comedy schedule at www.gracecomedian.com, and another great site, and I went on there a couple of days ago, www.juanalaff.com. That's JUANAHLAFF, JuanaLaff.com. I know that. I know that it is.
That was my father's name.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
It's Juana.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to laugh?
Juan,
oh, yeah.
I laugh?
Oh, my. Oh, yeah, you want to laugh? Oh, my God. You laugh.
Yeah.
Or you can just Google her damn name, and she's everywhere. Kind of like me.
Yeah.
Seriously. I Googled my name a couple of days ago.
I know.
It's like, oh my God,
it's like 20 pages.
Yeah.
You're like, who is
right?
Duplicating
Jon
my
Pirincci.
things?
I know, it's like I'm the only Jon Pirincci. By the way, I'm the only Pirincci in the United States. Can you?
It's
seriously,
you?
I swear to God, I'm the only.
Shut up.
I swear to God. It's weird. I'm the only PIRINCCI.
Hilarious.
Okay, there's a few other ones in Europe or something like that. But
that's crazy.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So, and if you got inspired by this podcast, which I hope you did and show, many of the stories come from my book, What's a Little Wind? And you can see my videos and more stories on www.whatsalittlewind.com. It's on Amazon. It's on Kindle. But you can get a personalized copy when you go right there. Thanks again for listening. Again, it was great to have Grace be here. Any other final words, Grace?
Just
Have
do
fun.
it. Just do it.
Do
yeah,
it.
and have fun on the way to your dream. I would say, just have fun.
Exactly.
Yeah, enjoy every moment, because that's all you got. Okay.
It's true.
That's it.
You only have one life.
Yeah.
And that's it.
This moment. This is
And
the
this is-
moment that I have. Whatever I want in the future or had in the past doesn't matter. You know, this
Right.
is the moment right now with you sitting here doing this podcast, and
Correct.
just enjoy it and have fun. And that's what we did.
That's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we did. So thanks again for listening, and we will talk to you next week. We have some great more comedians coming. Thank you again. It's John. God bless.